Mercedes has sold 1 million M-classes since the original arrived back in 1997, and this new version is responsible for continuing that sales success. And I have to say, it's certainly a rugged looking beast, and I've even got some designer mud on it down here as proof of its off-road capability. Now we'll get to that in a moment, because first I want to talk about the practicality. This car has an electrically operated boot, which is handy if you've got feeble wrists and can't lift a heavy tailgate. As you can see, the boot itself is absolutely massive, and there's no lip either for you to have to lift things over. And when you fold down the rear seats, which I'll do now, there you go, they lie completely flat, so it's easy to slide heavier items straight to the back. Unfortunately, the clap to fold the seats down was a camera trick, but one day that'll probably be a standard feature, you mark my words. The M-Class has plenty of space here in the back seats as well. As you can see, I've got absolutely loads of room, and because the front seats are raised up, you can put your feet underneath them to stretch out. And if you're really lanky, because they're recessed in the back, there's somewhere for your knees. Now, I would normally complain about the slightly raised transmission tunnel, but it's not too high in any way. Mercedes has actually given you a little place either side to put your feet, so it's not too bad if you do get the middle seat. And because the car's wide, you can actually fit 3 adults abreast here in the back. If you're going on long journeys, you can keep your back passengers entertained with these optional DVD screens. Now, if you excuse me. Inside, the M-Class feels suitably upmarket, with plenty of quality materials and a robust feel. What's more, the instruments are clear to read and all the controls logically laid out. Equipment is generous. All cars get satellite navigation, dual zone climate control and electrically operated front seats. There's also an electronic parking brake, which is much better than the annoying foot operated systems you have on most Mercedes. Speaking of which, most Mercedes have a slightly off-center steering wheel, but this one doesn't. The driving position is spot on. So too are the safety gadgets. This particular car has attention assist, and that'll spot if you're starting to nod off behind the wheel, and it saved me from having a crash when I was getting a bit drowsy on the M1 the other day. Now, you're probably getting a bit drowsy yourself listening to me drone on, but I've almost finished. Finally, you see, I want to talk about the cubby spaces. Got a decent sized glove box, it's got 2 layers in there, which is quite useful. You've got a large central cubby. There's somewhere for your mobile phone either there or down there. There's some huge side door bins, which can hold much bigger drinks than this, but I'm using this yogurt drink because I want to show you this. The cup holders, you can either chill them to keep your drink cool, or heat them if instead you're drinking coffee and you don't want it to go cold. The new M-Class is one of the more capable of the premium SUVs off-road. You can actually select a special off-road mode for the electronic stability control, which gives you some added grip, and there's even hill descent control if you're faced with a steep incline. It'll get you safely down. Now, if I'm honest, this kind of off-roading is a little bit of child's play for this car. And anyway, most M-Class buyers, they're probably not going to be taking their cars off-road. What's going to be more important to them is economy. And so to talk about that, I'm going to head onto the normal road. Right then, let's talk economy. Now, if you go for the ML250, the 4-cylinder diesel, Mercedes say it will do 45 miles per gallon, which is the best in its class. However, I say don't go for that car, go for this one, the ML350, because its 6-cylinder diesel is just nicer to use. And importantly, it's got more punch for propelling this big car along. In fact, it will do 0 to 60 in just a smidge over 7 seconds. Obviously, performance is important when you're talking about a premium SUV, but more so is comfort. And I have to say, in this respect, the M-Class fares very well indeed. The cabin, it's extremely quiet, even at speed. The seats are comfy, got all-round visibility is very good. It's an easy car to drive, actually, despite its size. And when you get onto a twisty road, it can hold its own. That said, it's not as overtly sporty or as engaging to drive as something like a Porsche Cayenne. And one of the reasons for that is that the steering, it's a little bit slow. Another problem I have, I'm not sure whether it's just this car, but the brakes seem a little bit squidgy. For instance, there's about that much travel in the brake pedal before you actually feel the brakes engage, and that can be a little bit disconcerting in something as heavy as this. As for other problems, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to spend about £5,000 on chassis upgrades to make this car drive as well as it can, because you're going to want the active roll control, which stops the car rolling in turns, and then you're going to want the air suspension, because without it, on the normal springs, the car's ride can feel a little bit on the firm side, and over undulations in the road, you tend to get pendulumed from side to side like that, and as you can see, that looks a little bit ridiculous. Finally, there's the fact that this car is a strict 5-seater. You can't get a 7-seater version, so it won't be as good for people with large families as a Land Rover Discovery. But hey, if you haven't got more than 3 children, that won't matter. And overall, this is a very desirable and capable car that looks set to continue the sales success of its predecessors. Subscribe to the Carbuyer channel for our latest videos. Click here to see our reviews of other 4x4s. And don't forget to rate, share, favourite and comment on this video.